Well, hi there folks, I hope you're keeping well. Farmsimgamer here, and welcome back to Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Now, we had a pretty busy old day of it yesterday. We finished up the harvesting field 17. That gave us about 72,000 litres of wheat. We took all the straw from the field as well, put that in the hay barns, so we've got that ready for doing TMR in the future. We also went and harvested the corn in field 15. Now on this map you need the corn stalks as well for bedding for the cows, so we windrowed that and we collected all of the corn stalks as well. So we've got some, not a huge amount, but we've got a little bit of that ready for our cows as soon as we've got the budget to be able to do those. We also went and cut the grass in the field by the pond, and we baled that, we wrapped it, loaded it onto the trailer and took that off to the selling points. We also went and sold our corn to the local selling point, and we sold our wheat as well. Now all told, that gave us around about $67,000 worth of harvest income, and we made about $95,000 off the bale sales for the silage. So pretty good day, and that enabled us to pay about $120,000 off of our bank loan, which is pretty good. We still got $98,000 in the bank, and we need to go off and buy a few little bits of equipment. So good day all told, and pretty happy with what we achieved. Now, before I charge off and do another day's work, I wanted to just touch on the other 3 farms that you can purchase if you didn't want to have the main cattle farm up here, and a few things that you'll need to consider, bearing in mind that you own the main grain silo facility that's up here on the main farm, and you've also got the same loadout of equipment which is all located up at this main farm as well. So if you purchase any of the other 3 farms, you'll need to have the equipment transferred to those farms, and there's a few ways that you can do that. So just a quick reminder of the farms that are available. Now, as I said in episode 1, they are easily identifiable by the buying silos. So up in the top northeast corner, we've got the pig farm, which is priced at $357,000. That comes with field 14. And then down towards the centre of the map, just south of the farm shop, we've got the horse stables with field 24 at $359,000. And over the road, we've got the sheep farm, which is the larger of the other 3, that comes with field 44, and that's $410,000. Now, which one you decide to go to is entirely up to you. Personally, I would probably go with the sheep farm. I prefer working the sheep to the horses. The location is pretty good and central, and easy to get to a lot of the selling points. The pig farm is a little bit off the beaten track. The only access through to it really is just up here, up this kind of road, so it's further away from the from the selling points and kind of buy points, and so personally it wouldn't be my choice, but it's entirely up to you what you wish to do. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the sheep farm. So that's now ours, and as you can see, you get field 44 with that, but that's the only field that comes with. Now, if we go back to the equipment loadout, just into the garage, as you can see, and as you will have gathered from episode 1, if you watched that, then the equipment loadout is pretty extensive. So you got a lot of stuff here. Now, whether it's your personal choice or not, whether you want to keep it or exchange it for other vehicles, that's entirely up to you. The overall value of this equipment is about $990,000 based on the selling prices in the garage menu. So you've got quite a lot of budget there to play with. Obviously, it'll be more expensive for you to replace some of this machinery with newer vehicles, but that's kind of entirely up to you. Now, having purchased the sheep farm, you will see that we've now got a second silo, which is the one down on the sheep farm. And this main large silo facility that's up on the cow farm, you no longer need, so you can sell that. Now, a couple of other things. If you do want to sell any of your vehicles, then it's probably a good idea to take them down to the actual shop and to the workshop menu, because you get a slightly higher price down there than you do if you sell them directly from your garage menu. I think it's about 20% that's deducted. So these prices here that you can see are the kind of reduced prices that you would get if you sell it directly from the menu, and I think that basically covers a collection charge from the farm for the workshop or the shop coming to pick them up. So if you do want to sell things, you can reset it down to the shop and just take it to the workshop trigger and sell it directly from there, and you'll make a little bit more money. Now, to move your vehicles from the main farm to the new farm that you've purchased, you can do a couple of things. If you've purchased the horse stables or the sheep farm, which is located very close to the actual shop itself, you could just reset everything to the shop and then drive it down the road. If you've purchased the pig farm, that's fairly convenient to the main farm, so you could kind of just drive the vehicles round to there if you wanted to. But the quickest option, if you've got store deliveries mod installed, if you haven't, then I would recommend that you do have it installed. Then you can reset all of the vehicles to the farm location that you've purchased. So I'll just show you how to do that now. Okay, so if you've got the store deliveries installed, then to set the location of the delivery point, you simply press Shift, Alt and then S to select. So that will be where your vehicles should hopefully turn up. To reset it back to the store, you just press Shift, Alt and R. Now do bear in mind that for any new purchases from the shop, if you've got it selected to come to your farm, then you will get charged the 2.5% delivery charge, and with the farm shop being so close to the sheep farm, you probably don't want to have to do that, because it's very convenient run just down the road to pick up your items. So we're kind of using this really just to get our items delivered from the main farm, the main cow farm, down here to the sheep farm. So once I've done that, I can go and locate one of my vehicles, and then I can just reset it, backspace on your keyboard, and then just press return and return. And then hopefully, there we go. Now you will need to do this bit by bit. Don't try and do it all in one go, because your vehicles will gradually spread out across the yard and they'll start disappearing into sheds, and kind of can sometimes end up in slightly awkward places. So as an example, you might end up the vehicle that's stuck in that undercroft area in that barn there, and you won't be able to get to it or access it. So just do things a bit of 2 or 3 items at a time maximum. And then put them away into the sheds, and then kind of carry on moving. So you do everything bit by bit. So that's how you move your vehicles. The only other thing that I probably need to touch on is farmhouses. Now, each of the other 3 farms do have a house located on them, but the main farmhouse is positioned back up, sort of within the main farm land, backing onto field 15, and it's kind of the farmhouse for the map. So regardless of which farm you own, that's your sleep trigger. However, if you did want to have your sleep trigger on the farm that you've actually purchased, then you will need to ensure that you've got a couple of things installed from the mod hub. The first one is global company, and the other one is that you'll need a sleep trigger of some description. And if you've got global company installed, you do need to make sure in the settings menu here that you've got activate extended placeable checked as well. So once you've got those mods installed and you've checked with the global company that you've ticked that extended placeable box, then you can go to the shop, you can go to farmhouses, you can buy your sleep trigger. I'll choose the doormat in this location, and although it says only 1 item allowed per farm, you can place the doormat because you've checked that box in global company. Now the one thing I've noticed is that the mat seems to disappear underneath the paving stones here, so I'm just going to put it off to one side. If we come out the menu, just have a little wander up here, and yeah, there we go, so that works. Now the one thing that you will find is that when you go there and you go to sleep overnight, When you wake up in the morning, that's where you'll be. However, when you load into the game for the first time in a day, I think you'll be located at the main farmhouse. That I don't think that can change, so just be mindful of that. Personally, I kind of like the main farmhouse. I like the fact that you maybe escape from your farm and go off and sleep somewhere else, so I don't really kind of have too much of a problem. But if you did want to have the sleep trigger on the actual farm that you've purchased, then that would be how to do it. Okay, so back to the farm. Need to get on with some work now. There's a couple of bits of kits that I have kind of swapped out or purchased. So we didn't have a plough or a subsoiler, so I've purchased a Lizard 6-meter subsoiler, which is a mod that's available in the in-game mod hub. So I kind of prefer those to ploughs. You need to make sure that you do kind of have a proper plough replacement subsoiler, because if not, then if you use a helper or a worker with those, sometimes they don't kind of accept them as when your land needs periodic ploughing, they won't work. So you need to pick one that's from the plough section in the mod hub. So that's a good option, 6-meter working width, so you kind of get through the work a bit quicker than if you were using a plough itself. So I've got that for the big John Deere. I've also swapped out the Vaderstad Rapid Drill for a modded version which has a fertiliser tank, which you can see on the back. So this is the 6-meter version. You can also get an 8-meter version of this as well. So if I just go into seeders, right at the end here, there is this modded version of the Rapid A600 and an 800 version as well. So you can do a grain tank seed extension. You can do fertilizer extension on the back, or you can have both, and then you can also choose the 8-meter option as well. Now I've just gone with the fertilizer addition and the extended seed tank, but I might upgrade to the 8-meter version in the future. So I swapped that out because it'll save time in the future. With having the fertilizer capability, it'll just mean that I won't have to do a double pass for fertilizer. So although that's cost me a little bit more money at the moment, it will save me time and money in the future. Now, if you remember, our fields 15 and 17 have now been harvested. Fields 16 and 28 have been cultivated. They all do need ploughing, but I'm not going to worry about 28 and 16 at the moment. I will do that after the next harvest, but I am going to plough or subsoil fields 15 and 17. So I'm going to start getting on with that now. Okay, so we've filled up from the silo with fertiliser and seed. Just close the lids up. A nice little animation on this of the rear steps as well. So we'll head over onto field 16 and we'll start drilling that. Okay, so we're starting to get our own fields in order. We were, however, starting to run a little bit light on money and budget. I think I kind of paid a bit too much, maybe back to the bank. So we're taking on a couple of contracts. The first one is a harvest contract, field 33 for the rye to take to the Johnson Mill, which is just down the road, so that's pretty good. Now I did do something a little bit sneaky. I swapped out the 65X John Deere header and replaced it with a 630, so we've gone from 25 foot to 30 foot, or 7.6 metres to 9.2. I kind of figured that I'll try and do as many harvest contracts as I can to get some extra money, and having the larger header would be beneficial. So I've done that. Now I had to go back and borrow a bit more money from the bank actually, so having paid some quite a bit off, 120,000 I think it was, I kind of borrowed about 50 or 60 back. And part of the reason I did that is it's a lot cheaper to pay the interest on the bank loan than it is to pay the leasing fees on some of the items. So with this header costing about 60,000 and plus the header trailer, I think the leasing cost, the per day leasing cost and the hourly cost would have exceeded the actual amount of money that I would pay in interest on the extra money that I borrowed from the bank. So I tends to kind of find that it's better borrowing the money back, and I'm sure that we will be able to pay it back easy enough as we take on some of these harvest contracts. So we're kind of fairly busy getting this field 33 done. The Johnson Mill is just up there, you can kind of see it between the trees, so that's nice and easy. And hopefully there'll be a few other contracts, quite a lot of fertilising contracts at the moment, but I think there's a few harvesting contracts that are coming up. Now, as you can see, because quite a lot of the fields are fairly small on this map, the contracts are not, kind of big value, but they're worth taking, and obviously with the harvest contracts you hopefully get a bit of harvest income as well, or a share in the income. So sometimes that kind of, you double your money, sometimes not quite so much, sometimes more, so we'll have to see how that goes. So back on our farm, we're continuing to seed our fields. We're going to put canola into 15 and 17. So I'm going to do the headlands on these and then get a helper in just to finish off the fields. We've got a few other bits of equipment to buy. We need to do a herbicide, a sprayer, and I need to get a cultivator as well. There's a set of disc harrows by Case that are quite cost effective, only $10,000, which I'm going to pick up. And that'll be pretty much all the kit that we need for the time being. So we're going to crack on with this. We're going to carry on with those harvest contracts so we can continue paying off that bank loan and see how we get on from there. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up below, and if you'd like to subscribe, then please do so, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. So thanks for watching. Stay safe wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you on the farm next time. Bye for now.